Welcome to Star's Messy Kitchen. We're in episode 1 where I'm going to teach you how to cook. I've been wanting to teach you how to cook a long time because it's so easy to do. I've been vegetarian 24 years. I've been on food stamps. You can cook really cheap and eat really healthy. I happen to be in my bathing suit today. And I eat all the time. So I'm going to teach you guys how to cook. It's really simple. It's really easy. It's really lovely. So the first step to cooking, tonight we're making vegan Alfredo pasta. First step is we open up the kitchen door to make it all nice in the kitchen. It's a beautiful twilight evening. We step outside and we check to see if the moon is out or any stars yet. We thank the evening sky. We thank our garden. We come back in and we see what we have from the harvest, which is this lovely pile of things today to play with. And then I'm going to plug my phone in and we're going to make Alfredo. So I've already got the pasta going here. And to make pasta, all you have to do, you don't have to measure anything. You just throw water in the pot, like half a pot full of water, and then you add your pasta to it till there's like, in any kind of pasta, this is like not any different from any other pasta. You throw it in there till there's like an inch of water on the top still, and then you let it go. So I have added a handful of sea salt into here and about half a tablespoon of oil to keep it from sticking. I don't usually do that. I usually just stir it with whatever's around and keep it from sticking. And then I boil it until there's about no water left on it, and then I test it. I don't have to time it that way. Pasta cooks for about 10 minutes though, 12 minutes. Until it's al dente, it means. Anyway. So, what we're here to learn about is the Alfredo sauce. This is a bit too hot because I've been waiting to teach you this. So I'm going to turn it down, throw some water on it. Just because if it's a burning pan like that, you want to throw water on it to keep it from tasting burny when you put food on there. I've got my apprentice, Adam, in the background. He's my chowder. So if you don't know who Chowder is, we're going to put him on in the background. Adam, Chowder, will you bring Chowder out for us to watch while we cook? So chowder is one of our favorite things to watch while we cook. We like to make it a family thing. We just throw in butter. Throw it in. I use Smart Balance. It makes me feel really good. It seems to take out the toxic fats out of my body. And I just let that fry up in the skillet a bit. And then I think about what I want to throw in the skillet. Maybe you want to think about it first, but I picked all of these onion heads today, chives heads. And I want a bunch of chive flowers in there. It's going to be so good. I don't need a knife for this. I just pull it apart and throw it in there. And actually, I usually use, can you turn the volume down a little bit? Sure. I usually use about a head of garlic. That's what I generally like for my Alfredo sauce. But today we're going to go with chives because that's what was in the garden. We also got some rosemary from the garden. I'm not going to use that much rosemary. Maybe that much. This is not it. Turn it off. Not it. And then we'll just throw in the rosemary like this. Now, herbs are really nice if you smell them first. Rosemary is really good for the brain. It actually, the rosemary extract has been reversing Alzheimer's symptoms. Now, we haven't gotten to reverse all the way yet, but that's really exciting because nothing else has really reversed them. And then basil, some basil from the garden. Basil gave itself to us today, so I'm just going to use that fresh stuff. Now, it's starting to get a little sizzly. We don't want this herb sizzling too long before we start doing something with it. So I threw in a bunch of butter, a couple tablespoons of butter, and now we're going to use flour. To make it a smoother white sauce, I'm going to use this because it's what my daughter wanted, and that's what we had in the cupboard, and not a fan. I would usually use a different kind. You don't need much flour to start with, just a couple tablespoons. I probably put too much flour in for the two of us. But you do need a wooden spoon.
I keep doing it correctly.
Okay, well that's not the right episode.
Wow.
So, we got flour in there and butter. Now we just stir it up. Uh-oh, our water container is propping up the camera. That's what we get for our first video. So when you stir it up, it starts to look like this. You want to get it nice and clear. Please hold it. So I'm going to throw in water. Just a little bit at a time. I'm going to pick the camera up so you can see what's going on here. And so as that cooks up, it starts to get white and thick. As it gets white and thick, you want to add more water. Just a little bit, just a couple tablespoons at a time of water. And this is called a roux. When it's just the oil and the flour, the base is a roux. So as that keeps happening, you want to pay complete attention to this and not to this. Come on in, 'cause something's always cooking. So they're making froggy apple clumpin' thumpkin because this is the very first episode of Chowder ever. And we are making Alfredo sauce with pasta. So yeah, I use the same spoon to stir everything. This is beginning cooking 101. And then we turn up the heat. See this? Usually in the kitchen, as long as we're not in the beginning, I do like to turn up the flame. It doesn't matter what setting it's at, just flame high, right? And then this roux will cook up a lot thicker. You can already see that the bubbles are going on. What we're doing is dissolving this water, and it thickens up the roux. Thickens up the gravy sauce. So this is the way you can make not only Alfredo sauce, but also gravy. Now to make it properly Alfredo, instead of gravy, we do want some milk. So I'm going to grab some milk from the fridge. Oh yeah, at the Alfredo place. So we got two different milks here. You can use any kind of milk you want. Soy milk, pea milk. This one has some pea protein. Now, I think the pea protein one will be really good, except they've made it a little bit sweet so that the average market will buy it. So we're just going to open this soy milk. Sorry, it's the first time it's been opened. And we're going to throw a little of that in there. Just a little, like I was saying, a couple tablespoons at a time. And the milk makes it creamier. Now you could use coconut milk. That would be so good and creamy in here. They do make coconut milk in a box, in a carton, like that. See how lovely that looks as it gets thick? But for this kind of recipe, that's a little sweet. The stuff that you buy in the store, and you want it to be really thick. So this stuff will make your sauce really thick. You want to shake it up first and then pour it in. So here's this. That's why we use a wooden spoon. You got to be ready to stir at all times. And see how that water is just dehydrating off the top? We don't have to think about the timing with the pasta. It is feeling really soft when I stir it though, so often that means it's finished. And so as that's going, it looks like it's going pretty well. You want to keep rubbing the bottom of the pan because it does get stuck to there. That's why I'm using a non-stick pan, but if you're using a skillet, you want to make sure to really scrape the bottom of the pan with the wooden spatula. So as it's cooking, I'm really looking in here. Like, I'm actually feeling adventurous about these rose petals. I kind of want to put some of the rose petals in here. I'm thinking, I'm getting a little too adventurous thinking about one of these. They're super hot. I may just put a tip in because that sounds so good. Yummy. So we come down to the chopping boards and we just chop off a little tiny tip because we're feeding children. How do I chop and show you? So that little tip is going to be so spicy hot. And how do I know this? Because all of the pepper eaters tell me so. So for children, I'm going to chop this tiny bit. And see, that's looking dangerous over there. I probably want to stir it quick, but I'm still chopping. So I'm putting in a couple little pieces, just little ones. Like that into here. I'll probably hear about it later. But it's going to make a lovely base. And see how that just cooks up? It's actually going to keep getting thicker, richer, the longer we do this. Now if it's not thick, if yours is not thick, a little bit by now, then you want to add a little more flour. If it's way too thick and it's actually getting chunky, it could make really good gravy, or you could keep adding more milk or water. If it's really thick and clumpy, you want to add more oil. This is looking really, really good. I do want more though, so since I want more, the cool thing about this recipe is that you can make as little or as much as you want. You can keep expanding it by just throwing in liquid, and it just keeps expanding for the most part. So now we go over to the spices and we look for, let's see, do I want Himalayan salt today or sea salt? Ooh, is this? No, I'm thinking we're going to do cumin in this one. We have so much to choose from. Ginger, no. Turmeric. I do like to put turmeric in stuff, but this is gravy, so I like pepper in that, and I don't like to mix my pepper in my turmeric because I get something called gallbladder squeeze if I have too much turmeric. So pepper, 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 because there's going to be more than we think. And salt. I have a giant tub of sea salt. It's like a 10-pound salt because when I was doing my skincare line, I needed a lot of salt. Don't worry, it will be back up and running in just a little while. Just need the investment monies first. So, you see how that's getting thick and kind of pasty? It looks a little slimy. It's grabbing around with us as we move. And then it's time to pour in more of our handy milk. Now people ask me all the time about soy milk. Isn't soy milk harmful? No. We each have our own milks though that are good for our bodies. Some people handle nuts better, and then almond or cashew milk might be better for you, or coconut milk. But I love soy. My body runs on soy. The trick is to get organic soy. The studies that were done on non-organic soy. And soy and strawberries happen to be one of those foods that soak up pesticides really bad, and they change the hormonal structure of your body because of the pesticides that they soak up, not because of the food that they are. In fact, soy is really good for women and helps with menopause and things like that. So the women who have used it traditionally for so long don't get the menopausal symptoms that we do here in the U.S. in general. Of course, everybody's different. So we're going to add a little more of this stuff. It's going to taste really good. It's looking like enough sauce to cover, but I would like a little more, and that's awesome. So it's still doing the slimy thing. I'm going to move this pan over so that the hot bubbles hit this other side also. And as I add the turmeric, it does get, I did add turmeric. I do like it yellow. We gotten used to making macaroni and cheese. We don't make it this way, but you could make mac and cheese this way for your kids. And add turmeric and cumin and coriander and all of that good stuff. In fact, I am going to add cumin to this when we're off the video, but I just want you to see it's nearly done. I'm going to add a little more milk. Now you can add all kinds of vegetables to this, which I normally would, but I didn't want to take up this whole time chopping boarding. I'll probably add tomatoes to the top. Fresh tomatoes will be cut up into tiny slices and put onto the top of this so that it's yummier. So I'm going to let this cook up for just a moment. You can see that almost all of this water is gone. Cool, that's going to get thicker, and as I let it set under that hot fire for its last thing, we'll come over here and check on the chowder. Did you think our pasta needs anything else?
Yeah.
What does it need?
The pasta.
All right then. Adam has spoken. The pasta is ready for pasta. Normally we test a lot and taste a lot, but we're actually really confident. So this is how I do my dishes. I like to show you because I've been in so many women's groups that like to show how their husbands stack the dishes, and I guess I'm the husband. Single mom, I'm both the husband and the wife all the time. Adam says he'd like to taste it, so would you still have it on? It's still on so that it's still thickening, because I don't know exactly how much water is in the pasta.
Yum.
Never taste it directly from the pot. I know you want to.
Yum.
So hold that, don't try it. This is how you help a kid. You get a cold spoon, onto the hot food.
Yum.
Is it ready? Does it need anything else? Here's the awesome part. It does look like the water is gone. It's hard to tell. So I pick it up. Let's turn the flame off of both. Oh yeah, it's pretty dry up there, so we can just add the pasta. You can do it either way. I like less dishes, so I add to the roux, to the Alfredo. Now this would be white Alfredo. Mushrooms would be lovely. If you were doing mushrooms, you would add the butter first, and then a bunch of mushrooms, and then the flour. I've seen it done the other way, where you can add the butter, and then the flour, and then make the roux, and then the mushrooms, but the mushrooms cook up so much better if you add them to the butter for like, oh man, even 15 minutes first with a little bit of garlic. Oh, so delicious that way. You would normally want to cut them small for a recipe like this. So anyway, before I stir that all in, I'm going to give this a little bit to Chowder because he is our expert, and we will maybe not cut this up, but we'll put a tiny little pear tomato on the top just to make him happy. Alright, babe. We need you to be the taste tester. How does it look? How does it smell?
Sounds good. Okay.
Oh, can I not see? Sorry, I have a funny camera. Okay.
That's good.
Really good. You heard it here, folks. Really good. Vegan Alfredo.